Chosen one. Stop for a moment and listen carefully. This is not coincidence. This is divine timing. You have been guided here because something sacred is approaching, a moment that will test your awareness and your alignment. Heaven has been observing how your wishes, prayers, and silent cries have reached the gates of fulfillment. But before they manifest, there is one day, December 26, that carries both promise and peril. You must understand, this day is not ordinary. It is a crossing point between realms. A moment when unseen forces move closer to the physical world. What you choose to do on this date can either protect your blessings or expose them. Meeting someone close to you on that day may seem harmless, but in the spirit, it could drain your divine momentum. There is power in proximity. When you share space with others, your energies merge, your frequencies intertwine. If the person near you carries doubt, fear, envy, or weariness, that vibration can subtly disrupt your flow of manifestation. This is why heaven whispers now to warn you before interference strikes. You have noticed it before after certain conversations. Your peace fades after some visits. Your motivation wanes. That is not your imagination. It is spiritual interference, hidden in the fabric of familiarity. Those who carry different alignments can unintentionally pull you out of the divine rhythm God set for you. That is what December 26 threatens to amplify if you are not alert. When divine energy prepares to release your wishes, heaven often isolates you first. That isolation is not rejection, it is protection. There will be moments when your spirit will crave stillness, silence, and distance. Honor that urge. It is heaven's way of guarding what you have prayed for. Remember, separation precedes elevation. When Abraham was about to receive the covenant, he was called to leave his country and his kindred. When Jesus went to pray before his greatest miracles, he withdrew from the crowds. The pattern is ancient and unchanging. Divine things are birthed in private. So, when the 26th arrives, and a friend calls, or a family member suddenly insists on meeting, pause and discern. Ask your spirit, is this encounter sent to feed my purpose or to test my boundaries? The Holy Spirit will always answer those who listen. The Word of God declares in the book of Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 23, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. This is not metaphor, it is instruction. Guard your heart from unnecessary conversations. Protect your peace from careless words. And preserve your dreams from those who do not carry the same vision. Your heart is the birthplace of your wishes. If you leave it unguarded, your manifestations will leak away through unseen cracks. Chosen one. On December 26, heaven will be watching your response. Will you honor what you prayed for by staying in alignment? Or will you allow distraction to disguise itself as companionship? Some tests do not come wrapped in evil, they come wrapped in comfort. But your calling demands focus. Your wishes demand silence. Your future demands obedience. Do not explain yourself. Do not overthink it. When the Spirit says, stay home, stay quiet, stay hidden, obey. Divine timing often requires divine distance. Your obedience on that single day will echo into your future. Now, if this word resonates with your spirit, if you feel that quiet confirmation stirring in your chest, Act on it. Like this message. Share it so others may awaken before it's too late. And subscribe to stay connected with every prophetic revelation that follows. You are being equipped for protection, not fear, for clarity, not confusion. When you are ready, comment this prophetic number below as your seal of obedience and faith. 777. Chosen one. Your obedience is not unnoticed. Heaven registers every act of surrender, every decision to stay still when the world demands motion. You are stepping into a higher frequency where peace becomes your confirmation and silence becomes your weapon. Do not doubt the quiet miracles often grow in the soil of solitude. Even now, angelic forces are aligning circumstances in your favor. While others rush into noise and chaos, you will walk in calm authority. What seemed delayed will suddenly accelerate. Because divine timing rewards patience. The unseen hand of God is shifting everything to protect your destiny and magnify your light. Guard your space with sacred precision. When you choose peace over people and purpose over pressure, heaven multiplies what you release. The ones meant to journey with you will find their way back in divine order, transformed, renewed, ready. Until then, stay consecrated, stay focused, stay hidden in the secret place. Let this moment seal something eternal within you. Breathe deeply and remember, you are not missing out. You are being refined. December 26 will pass, and you will emerge untouchable, clearer, stronger, favored. The next season of your life will not be defined by who stood beside you, but by who guided you. You awaken with a sense that something unseen is stirring. The days are moving closer to December 26. And though everything around you looks ordinary, your spirit knows better. You feel a pressure in the air, subtle, heavy, and almost electric. This is not imagination. It is a spiritual atmosphere, thick with transition. The old energies of the year are being weighed, and the new are preparing to enter. December 26 sits at the threshold, a hinge between realms where portals of light and darkness both open. Chosen one. Heaven wants you aware of this reality. You live not only in the physical world, but also in a layered existence, where every day carries its own rhythm, frequency, and code. Certain dates are intersections, moments when heaven releases alignment, and the enemy counterfeits opportunity. December 26 is one of them. Many will treat it as a day of gathering, celebration, or routine. Few will recognize it as a spiritual gateway. Yet those who walk in discernment, like you, can sense when something in the unseen is shifting. It begins subtly. Sleep feels lighter, time seems faster, and your emotions swing between peace and unrest. These are not coincidences, but signals, vibrations from the spiritual world trying to gain your attention. You are being invited to stand alert, not afraid, but aware. The more you stay conscious of what happens beneath the surface, the less control darkness can exert over your outcomes. The world around you, distracted by noise, will not notice that heaven has marked this period for recalibration. Angels are repositioning, purposes are being rewritten, and people are being separated by frequency, not by circumstance. Light seeks those who can carry it. Darkness seeks those who can host confusion. This is why December 26 becomes a test. It exposes alignment. Whoever you connect with on that day determines which current you flow in next. Think of it like a spiritual junction. When you stand at a crossroads, each path radiates its own vibration. One glows with clarity, peace, and divine order. The other feels crowded, uncertain, and heavy. The danger comes when familiarity blinds discernment, when you choose the path of comfort instead of the path of conviction. December 26 magnifies this choice. You must move by the Spirit, not by emotion. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah. Chapter 6, verse 16. Stand at the crossroads and look. Ask for the ancient paths. Ask where the good way is, and walk in it, and you will find rest for your souls. That verse is your compass for what lies ahead. To stand and look means to pause, to observe the spiritual landscape before acting. Many rush through such moments and lose clarity. But you, chosen one, are being instructed to stop, to discern what is ancient, what is pure, what is of God. Not every opportunity is divine, not every call is harmless. When you stand still before December 26, heaven reveals the hidden motives of those who approach you. Understand this: portals are not doors you see with your eyes. They are energetic alignments that appear through timing, intention, and attention. When two souls connect during such moments, their energies intertwine and influence outcomes. That is why you must be cautious. Meeting someone with unbalanced energy on a day of spiritual openness can interrupt what heaven intended for you. The interference might come as emotional exhaustion, sudden confusion, or even forgotten dreams. Heaven's instruction is simple: walk in awareness. Let your heart remain steady and your thoughts anchored. This is not a time to make impulsive choices or entertain unnecessary discussions. It is a time to be still, to allow heaven's wind to pass over you without resistance. What looks like silence is actually protection. In the unseen world, December 26 is a day when frequencies collide. Some will experience sudden breakthroughs, others strange setbacks. The difference is alignment. Those who have guarded their energy will walk through portals of divine manifestation. Those distracted by human attachments will feel drained, as though something precious slipped through their fingers. You must choose which group you belong to. The key is not fear, it is awareness. You are not to isolate yourself out of anxiety, but to position yourself in sacred focus. You are part of a divine rhythm, and the one who called you knows how to guide your steps. Trust that inner nudge when it tells you to withdraw, to rest, or to stay silent. That is not weakness, it is divine intelligence. Soon, you will see why this awareness matters. The 26th is a marker, a prophetic checkpoint. Once it passes, your wishes will begin to align in ways you could not orchestrate. The invisible chains of delay will start breaking, and the clarity you've prayed for will begin to unfold. But this clarity is only given to those who stood still when others rushed ahead. So remain calm, remain watchful. The spiritual atmosphere is shifting, but you are not at its mercy. You are part of its purpose. Heaven trusts you to discern the unseen, to walk wisely in the light that few can see. And as the day approaches, remember, your stillness is not emptiness, it is strategy. You've begun to see the pattern now, the stillness before the storm, the silence before revelation. Yet what you're sensing is not fear, it's spiritual tension. The atmosphere around December 26 is tightening because heaven is testing perception. Those who move by instinct will stumble. but those who move by discernment will ascend. This is why awareness is your greatest defense. Chosen one. There is a mystery hidden in plain sight. Familiarity often disguises interference. The ones who smile at you, the ones who seem closest, can sometimes carry vibrations that cloud your vision. It's not always their fault. They may not even realize the spiritual weight they bring. But heaven is asking you to be alert. Guard your environment like a sacred garden. Every word, every glance, every conversation on that day matters. The voice of God thundered in the book of Exodus, chapter 23, verse 20. See, I am sending an angel ahead of you to guard you along the way and to bring you to the place I have prepared. This verse reveals the unseen escort walking beside you. You are not alone in this preparation. When heaven sends a warning, it never leaves you without guidance. There are angels already stationed around your path, clearing the way, silencing distractions, and redirecting energies that are not aligned with your purpose. But they require your cooperation. They respond to stillness, to obedience, to silence. Be mindful of what happens when the day draws near. The closer the date, the stronger the pull toward distraction. People might suddenly want your company, not out of malice, but because something in their spirit senses you're rising. The enemy often moves through emotional strings, using guilt or nostalgia to keep you anchored in old frequencies. Resist that pull with wisdom. You are not rejecting love, you are protecting peace. Darkness fears your focus because it knows your attention is currency in the spiritual realm. Whatever captures your attention owns your energy. That is why heaven has trained you to withdraw, to choose sacred isolation when it matters most. It's not punishment, it's positioning. When you protect your energy, you're not just saving peace, you're multiplying power. This is a season to close spiritual doors, gently but firmly. You don't have to argue, explain, or prove yourself. The anointing on your life speaks louder than explanations ever could. Silence is not weakness, it's weaponry. When you stay silent, heaven fights louder. If you feel heaviness or confusion when certain people approach, that is your discernment activating. Don't silence that inner voice. Your intuition is heaven's whisper. Obedience to that whisper is what keeps your wishes alive and guarded. The closer you move to manifestation, the more subtle the tests become. This is where many lose focus right before the breakthrough. That is why heaven sent this message early, so you can recognize the snare before it appears. Don't let emotional impulses undo what months of faith have built. The 26th is not a trap if you walk with awareness. It is a test meant to confirm your growth. So, as you prepare for what's coming, ground yourself in peace. Speak less. Observe more. Let the noise around you pass like wind through branches. You don't need to control anything. Heaven is already in motion. Now, pause for a moment. Feel what's happening inside you. That stirring is not fear, it's recognition. Something inside your spirit knows this message carries truth. It resonates with your divine memory. The more you acknowledge it, the stronger your discernment becomes. When you're ready, seal this moment by typing in the comments, "I am listening." Those 3 words are not for the algorithm, they are a declaration in the spiritual realm. Every time you type them, you affirm that you are tuned to heaven's frequency. It's a simple phrase, but in the unseen world, it marks you as one who hears, one who obeys, one who will not miss the divine signal when it comes. Let your comment become a prophetic echo. It tells heaven that you're aware, ready, and aligned. This act of recognition will serve as your seal, a sign that on December 26, you will move with clarity, not confusion. When you write, "I am listening," you're not just leaving a comment, you're opening a covenant. Those 3 words become a spiritual agreement between your soul and heaven. They signal that your heart is awake, your ears are tuned, and your spirit has chosen obedience over distraction. The act itself carries prophetic vibration. It's your way of saying, "I receive the warning. I choose alignment. I walk in light." As you type, "I am listening," imagine heaven responding. Angels take note. The atmosphere shifts, and divine order begins to move around your life. That phrase becomes a seal over your thoughts and emotions. It announces to every unseen force that you are alert, guarded, and no longer accessible to manipulation. Through this declaration, you invite peace to dwell, wisdom to reign, and clarity to guide every step beyond December 26. You are beginning to notice how every truth revealed to you connects like threads in a tapestry. Nothing that happens to you is random. Every sign, delay, or sudden stirring carries divine coordination. December 26 stands as one of those moments, a spiritual checkpoint where your understanding of connection, energy, and purpose will be tested in ways unseen. The world calls it coincidence, but heaven calls it alignment. When heaven plans to fulfill your wishes, it first adjusts your environment. It clears the path, removes certain voices, and sometimes even allows confusion so that clarity can be born. You might think the stillness or distance you feel lately is strange, but it is not rejection. It is rearrangement. The divine realm is positioning you for fulfillment, not comfort. That is why what looks ordinary, a simple meeting, a casual conversation, can become a turning point. Spiritual interference does not always arrive as disaster. It often appears as warmth, laughter, or nostalgia. Darkness rarely walks in shouting. It whispers through familiarity. Someone close to you might say something that seems harmless, yet their words carry a vibration that unsettles the fragile balance of your manifestations. It's not that they wish you harm. It's that their energy does not match the frequency of your calling. When heaven elevates someone, the environment around them must shift to support that rise. Old conversations, old opinions, and even old emotional bonds can weigh heavily when your soul is ascending. You may feel guilty for withdrawing, but withdrawal is sometimes the price of wisdom. Chosen one, you must begin to treat your spiritual life as a sacred ecosystem. Every word you hear, every emotion you entertain, every thought you allow, becomes part of your internal climate. On December 26, this climate will be tested. The energies around you will seek resonance either with the divine within you or with the distractions that long to silence it. The Apostle reminds us in his letter to the Corinthians, the first letter, chapter 15, verse 33, "Do not be misled. Bad company corrupts good character." This verse is not about judgment, it's about discernment. It teaches that even when your heart is pure, constant contact with the wrong vibration can distort your alignment. You become what you consistently allow near you. That is why some of your wishes have delayed. They were trying to manifest in soil that was too crowded. surrounded by voices that did not nurture them. So, before December 26 arrives, begin cleansing your spiritual atmosphere. Reflect on the conversations that leave you drained. Observe who calls only when your light grows brighter. These are not coincidences, they are indicators. Heaven often reveals the unseen through patterns. When you recognize those patterns, you reclaim authority over your destiny. The 26th is not a day of fear, it is a day of revelation. It will show you which connections still belong and which must dissolve. Do not resist this process. Every ending has been pre-written to make space for what's next. The people who truly carry love for you will not lose access. They will evolve with you. But those who cannot match your frequency will simply fade. Not out of anger, but by divine design. This is the rhythm of spiritual maturity. You stop explaining why you need peace. You start living it. You stop apologizing for boundaries. You start honoring them. You stop seeking validation. You start recognizing confirmation. December 26 is the mirror that will reflect this new version of you, a version that walks not by sight, but by discernment. In that silence, you will discover something extraordinary the more you guard your energy. The louder heaven speaks. When you remove unnecessary noise, divine instructions become clearer. You begin to recognize not just what feels right, but what is right. This is how the chosen live, guided not by impulse, but by revelation. Your wishes are sacred, and sacred things demand reverence. Treat your dreams as altars, not decorations. Protect them from careless words and from company that does not understand their worth. As you do, you will notice heaven responding quickly. Synchronicities will increase. Peace will deepen. The right doors will open without you knocking. When the 26th comes, walk softly. Speak little. Let your spirit lead every step. The world will be unaware that a spiritual exchange is happening, but you will feel it, the quiet current of heaven wrapping around your decisions. And when the day passes, you will sense that something within you has shifted forever. You will realize that obedience has built a wall around your destiny that nothing can breach. Your wishes will no longer tremble in uncertainty. They will stand, anchored in divine timing, untouched by interference. You will feel lighter, as though unseen weights have fallen away. The silence you once feared will transform into sanctuary. Every decision guided by peace will begin to bloom, proving that distance was never loss. It was divine precision shaping your destiny for what's next. And when reflection meets gratitude, you'll understand why heaven warned you early. It wasn't to frighten you, but to prepare you. You will stand on the other side of December 26, not wounded by absence, but fortified by wisdom, crowned by clarity, and surrounded by holy calm. You've reached a sacred turning point now. The revelations you've received were never meant to stay as information. They are transformation in motion. The more you listen, the more your inner atmosphere changes. You've noticed it already. Your thoughts are calmer, your spirit clearer, your nights quieter. That is the sign of alignment taking root. Heaven always begins transformation in silence before revealing it in sound. Your obedience in listening has opened doors that logic cannot explain. This is how the chosen grow quietly, steadily, without spectacle. But as December 26 draws closer, your awareness must deepen. The energy of that day will not simply test your relationships, it will measure your maturity. Heaven will ask, Can you hold peace when noise surrounds you? Imagine your life as a lamp placed in a storm. The wind howls, rain lashes against the glass, but inside, the flame still burns. That flame is your faith, fragile. Yes, but divinely protected. When you choose stillness on December 26, you become that lamp surrounded by chaos but untouched by it. Every prayer, every wish, every moment of belief is the oil keeping that flame alive. But what most people never realize is that oil must be replenished. Spiritual energy, faith, even divine focus, all must be refilled through acts of generosity, gratitude, and connection. That's how the flow of heaven works. It gives, and it multiplies through giving, as was spoken in the sacred texts of old, from the Gospel of Luke, chapter 6, verse 38, "Give, and it will be given to you, a good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, will be poured into your lap." This isn't about material exchange, it's about energy flow. When you give, whether love, kindness, or even resources, you're not losing, you're circulating divine current. Think of a river, it stays alive because it moves. The moment it stops flowing, it becomes stagnant. That's why, as you receive these words, if they've touched your soul or helped you see yourself more clearly, I invite you gently and sincerely to keep that current moving. Share this message like a farmer casting seeds into the wind, trusting that unseen soil waits to bloom. Like it as a quiet nod to heaven, saying, "This light found me, and I want it to find another." Subscribe as one lights a candle from another's flame. Each new light expands the glow across the world. Your connection is not just digital, it's spiritual. And if your heart feels led, consider donating not as an obligation, but as a love offering. Picture it as releasing a dove into the sky, carrying your gratitude into realms you cannot see, returning later with blessing in its wings. Your support is like water poured into fertile soil. It doesn't just sustain the voice speaking, it feeds the garden that so many souls are finding refuge in. Every act of generosity becomes a seed. Some sow through words, some through prayer, and some through gift. When you choose to give, you're not paying for revelation, you're partnering with it. You become part of the stream that carries light to hearts across the world. You become the unseen hand that keeps the flame alive. And if all you can give today is attention, know that it matters. Your presence here is not small. Every moment you spend listening and reflecting adds strength to the collective energy of those who seek truth and clarity. Generosity is never measured by amount, it's measured by intention. When your heart moves with purity, the smallest act creates the loudest echo in eternity. Heaven counts it. The same hand that receives your offering will multiply it back into your life in forms you least expect: peace, favor, and restoration. So let your giving, in whatever form it takes, be an expression of gratitude. Gratitude for the words that reached you when you needed them most, and for the unseen forces that guard your path. As you do, know this: every share, like, subscription, or donation becomes a spark released into eternity. You are not feeding a system, you are feeding light. There is sacred beauty in voluntary giving. It carries no duty, only the fragrance of love. This path is not about taking, it's about flowing. When you nurture the source that nourishes you, you keep the circle of divine exchange alive. That's how miracles multiply quietly, freely, beautifully. When you give from the heart, heaven records it as worship. Every unseen act of kindness becomes incense rising from your life. You may never know whose darkness your light has touched, but eternity will. Your giving of words, time, or support builds altars that never crumble. And in return, peace will visit your home quietly. Doors you didn't knock on will open, prayers you forgot you prayed will awaken. That is how heaven thanks a giver, not always with applause, but with divine favor that follows you like a sunrise that never fades. So, walk forward with open hands and a willing heart. Let gratitude be your compass and generosity your language. For every gift released in love, heaven writes your name in light, marking you as one who gives and therefore never lacks. You have walked faithfully through revelation after revelation, learning to discern the weight of every moment. Now, as December 26 approaches, heaven prepares to test something deeper, your capacity to separate what feels good from what is good. This is the essence of spiritual maturity. You are no longer moved by emotion, but by divine vibration. This section, Chosen One, opens a sacred secret. Some days carry invisible seals, spiritual signatures that determine outcomes for months ahead. December 26 is one of those sealed days. On that day, everything you choose, your silence, your response, your company writes a line in the story heaven is authoring about you. This is why you cannot afford to drift into it unprepared. Every year, that day functions as a divine sorting table. Those who walk in light feel acceleration. Those who move in distraction feel delay. It is not punishment but alignment. Heaven measures your choices and reflects them through outcomes. What you sow emotionally on that day becomes the harvest of your next season. Heaven speaks clearly through the writings in Deuteronomy. Chapter 30, verse 19, I have set before you life and death, blessings and curses. Now choose life, so that you and your descendants may live. That verse reveals the hidden law behind the 26th. It's not about external events, but internal choices. Life or delay, clarity or confusion, peace or restlessness, all depend on what you align with spiritually. Every conversation carries energy. Every meeting creates exchange. Even silence has a sound in heaven. So, as you stand near that day, begin practicing separation. Let your soul breathe without interference. Not every invitation deserves a yes. Not every message needs a reply. You are not rejecting people. You are protecting destiny. This awareness is your shield. The more you honor it, the more heaven trusts you with deeper revelation. Many will not understand your stillness. They will call it distance or pride. But heaven calls it focus. You were not made to fit comfortably into noise. You were designed for clarity, for discernment, for divine timing. What others see as hesitation, heaven sees as obedience. And obedience, no matter how quiet, always leads to acceleration. When the 26th dawns, imagine yourself as a lighthouse on a foggy coast. Ships pass by, waves crash, winds roar, but your light stands unmoved. That's what spiritual awareness looks like. It's not about isolation, it's about anchoring. The world will continue its rhythm, but your spirit will remain aligned to heaven's pulse. Guard your emotions. They are the gates to your energy. If someone close to you tries to pull you into conflict, smile gently and withdraw. Don't fight energy with energy. Respond with peace. Your silence will speak louder than arguments ever could. Darkness feeds on reaction, but it starves in stillness. And remember this truth: heaven never tests you to break you. Tests are confirmations, not punishments. They reveal strength you didn't know you carried. December 26 will be such a moment, not a threat, but a stage. The way you stand in peace while others rush in confusion will prove that the anointing on your life is real. After that day, you'll sense a spiritual lightness. What felt blocked will begin to flow. New clarity will arrive, not because you fought harder, but because you obeyed faster. That is the hidden power of discernment. It does not shout, it whispers. And those who heed its whispers inherit peace that cannot be stolen. When you read this, if your heart feels the vibration of truth, let that be your confirmation. You are ready to move differently, to protect what's sacred, and to stand alone if necessary. Heaven has already written blessings for those who choose correctly when the test comes. Now, seal this revelation with an act of agreement. Comment the number 1111 below. It is not superstition, it is symbolism. The number 1111 represents divine alignment, open gates, and synchronized timing. When you write it, you are not typing digits, you are signing your name on heaven's scroll that says, "I choose alignment over confusion." Let your comment become a silent decree, a way of saying, "I will walk in light when the world walks in noise." Each time someone sees your comment, that vibration of obedience will echo further, touching others who are still asleep to the spiritual patterns of time. You are becoming an example of awareness in an age of distraction, a guardian of peace in a generation addicted to noise. And because you've chosen to see differently, your wishes will no longer tremble under interference. They will begin to root deeply, protected by your understanding. Stay in this awareness. Guard your energy. Honor the silence, and prepare for heaven's movement. The 26th will pass like any other day to many, but for you, it will mark the start of acceleration, confirmation, and divine flow. Comment 1111 and let heaven know that you are listening, aligned, and ready. As you do, feel the shift within. That single act whispers to heaven, "I am awake. I am aligned. I am ready for divine movement to begin now." There are moments when the enemy does not attack through storms, but through subtleties. The greatest distractions often come wrapped in comfort. December 26 will not roar like thunder, it will whisper like familiarity. You will not face a visible war, you will face invitations. Invitations to explain, to defend, to reconnect. Yet, every invitation carries a vibration, and only discernment will reveal which ones are divine. This is the nature of the spirit of distraction. It does not confront you directly. It lures you softly. It appears in the form of an unexpected call from someone who once mattered, or a sudden memory that makes you want to reach out. It can even come through simple curiosity, a need to know what others are doing, while heaven is asking you to stay focused on your own calling. You have likely felt this spirit before without naming it. It's the pull that rises just when you are about to pray. The urge to check your phone the moment you feel peace. the wave of emotion that comes when you're close to breakthrough. This is no coincidence. Distraction is the camouflage of delay. The ancient words recorded in Romans chapter 12, verse 2, still echo today. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, His good, pleasing, and perfect will. This truth reveals your shield renewal. When your mind is renewed, distraction loses its disguise. You begin to see patterns instead of events. You realize that temptation often arrives as repetition. What you do not resist will reappear in different forms until you overcome it. Chosen one, you must understand this. Every distraction has one goal: to delay destiny. Darkness doesn't need to destroy you if it can simply keep you busy. It doesn't need to silence your prayer if it can scatter your focus. The spirit of distraction feeds on reaction. It thrives when you feel compelled to answer every voice that calls your name. But heaven has taught you that not every voice deserves your reply. This is why silence becomes power. In silence, your energy gathers, your thoughts align. You begin to discern where your attention truly belongs. Every time you resist distraction, you reclaim a portion of your destiny. It is not wasted energy, it is reclaimed time. You must treat your focus as holy ground. Do not let everything step on it. Guard your mind like a temple and your emotions like sacred fire. If you allow the wrong voice to speak into your spirit, it can plant seeds of confusion that bloom long after the moment has passed. The greatest losses in destiny are rarely sudden, they are gradual leaks of attention. As the 26th approaches, you will notice distractions trying to multiply. Something inside you will feel a strange restlessness, as if you need to be busy, connected, seen. That is the testing ground. Resist the urge to fill silence. Let peace be your proof. When nothing is moving on the outside, it means everything is moving on the inside. You are being recalibrated for precision. Heaven wants to move through you efficiently, without interference. That means not every message requires a response. Not every opportunity is divine, and not every familiar voice carries safety. You must listen beneath words. The spirit within you will vibrate when something is off. Trust that. It is not fear, it is discernment. In this season, discipline is your weapon. The enemy cannot tempt a focused soul. He can only tempt a distracted one. That is why awareness must become your constant prayer. Each morning, anchor yourself in purpose before the world begins to speak. Speak clarity over your mind. Declare peace over your emotions. Invite stillness to guard your thoughts. There is beauty in a quiet heart. There is strength in a slow response. When you resist the pull to rush, you step into divine timing. The 26th is not about how much you do, it's about how much you protect what matters. Heaven will speak in the stillness. You will hear it not with your ears, but with your knowing. And when that day arrives, you will realize that distraction was never about the phone, the message, or the meeting. It was about energy exchange. Heaven needs your energy focus to manifest what you've prayed for. When you scatter your attention, the divine flow weakens. When you preserve it, miracles quicken. So, as that day draws near, let this awareness shape you. Move slower. Speak softer. Breathe deeper. Recognize that stillness is not the absence of movement, it is the perfection of it. When your spirit is still, Heaven moves faster. You will come out of December 26 changed, not because you did more, but because you learned to do less with divine precision. You will realize that the spirit of distraction was never your enemy. It was your mirror, revealing how powerful your attention truly is. Guard that power. Protect it like sacred flame. For wherever your attention goes, creation follows. And heaven has already written a future that depends on your focus. You begin to notice the patterns more clearly now, the way some people's presence leaves you at peace, while others quietly drain you. It isn't about good or bad, it's about vibration, about what resonates and what resists. The closer you get to divine fulfillment, the more you feel the difference. This is the realm where energy speaks louder than words, and discernment becomes your language. Heaven has been training you to recognize energy vampires, not the creatures of myth, but the unseen dynamics that feed on light. They can appear as friends, relatives, even mentors. They are not always malicious, but they carry a kind of hunger, a need to be filled by what you carry. You have likely felt it before you enter a space full of joy. And by the time you leave, your peace has evaporated. That emptiness is not random, it is exchange. Energy vampires do not always intend harm. Some simply live disconnected from divine flow. They search for light wherever they can find it. When they meet someone like you, someone luminous, focused, charged with spiritual clarity, they unconsciously draw from it. Conversation becomes extraction. Interaction becomes imbalance. Heaven's wisdom calls you to see it for what it is, not to despise them, but to protect what is holy within you. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 7, verse 6, "Do not give dogs what is sacred. Do not throw your pearls to pigs. If you do, they may trample them under their feet and turn and tear you to pieces." This is not condemnation, it is preservation. Pearls represent your energy, your wisdom, your peace. They are treasures created through pressure, formed in silence. Not everyone understands their worth. If you offer your peace to those who only know chaos, they cannot value it. Instead, they may try to reshape you into their rhythm of confusion. Chosen one, it is not cruel to protect your peace. It is wisdom. Energy vampires thrive on those who feel guilty for saying no. They feed on the empathy of the awakened. But heaven reminds you, compassion without boundaries is self-destruction. You cannot save others by letting them drain you. Light does not prove itself by burning out, it proves itself by enduring. When you begin to recognize these patterns, you will notice how subtle they are. It might be a conversation that leaves you heavy. It might be a friend who always calls in crisis but never in calm. It could even be a family member who expects you to carry emotional burdens that are not yours to bear. They are drawn to your steadiness, yet they unintentionally disrupt it. The spiritual world runs on exchange. Every encounter either gives or takes. That is why discernment is crucial. It allows you to know when to pour and when to pause. If you keep pouring where there is no reciprocation, your light dims, your focus scatters, and your blessings delay. But when you protect your flow, heaven multiplies it. You were not meant to fix everyone. Some are lessons, not assignments. Some are mirrors showing you how much you've grown. You cannot heal those who refuse light, and you cannot lower your vibration to make others comfortable. The greatest kindness you can offer them is truth, and sometimes that truth is distance. As December 26 draws near, these energy dynamics will amplify. The people who drain you may become unusually present. The ones who uplift you will feel distant. This imbalance is not punishment, it's revelation. Heaven reveals who strengthens your spirit and who weakens it before the next season begins. Do not fight this sorting, it is divine hygiene. When you start recognizing these exchanges, you'll begin to act differently. You'll speak slower. You'll pause before replying. You'll feel the weight of a room before entering. You'll choose silence not as avoidance, but as strategy. And in that silence, you will find power returning to you, strength that had been quietly leaking away through unguarded connections. Remember, light attracts everything, moths and seekers alike. Not everyone who reaches for your glow is meant to share it. Some are simply drawn to warmth without understanding its source. Your role is not to extinguish your flame, to protect them, but to cover it wisely so it burns longer. On December 26, this awareness will protect your wishes. The moment you sense your peace being touched by heaviness, withdraw. Do not explain, argue, or justify. The spirit within you will whisper when to move. Trust that whisper more than appearances. It is heaven's way of keeping your energy intact. After that day passes, you will notice how light you feel. The exhaustion that once lingered will fade. Your thoughts will sharpen. Your emotions will quiet. And your prayers will feel alive again. This is the reward of guarded energy. It returns to you, multiplied. You are being prepared to walk into the next phase of your destiny with clean vibration, uncluttered focus, and unwavering clarity. Protecting your energy is not selfish, it is sacred stewardship. What heaven has placed in you is valuable, and every pearl of peace deserves protection. The revelations have begun to reshape the way you see everything, your relationships, your emotions, even your own silence. Each word you've read has been preparing you for recognition, and now heaven desires to seal that awareness. What you are stepping into requires not just knowledge, but activation. The next step is to take what you've learned and breathe life into it with declaration. Up until now, you've learned about guarding your energy, protecting your focus, and standing in silence. But there is another layer reclaiming your authority. Heaven never intended for you to be merely a receiver of revelation. You are meant to become a carrier of it. Your words hold the same creative essence that shaped the heavens. When spoken from alignment, they become commands that the unseen world must obey. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Isaiah, chapter 55, verse 11. So is my word that goes out from my mouth. It will not return to me empty, but will accomplish what I desire and achieve the purpose for which I sent it. That is your reminder. Your voice holds power. When you speak from a place of faith, you are not wishing, you are authoring outcomes. You are setting the spiritual atmosphere to match heaven's design. Every yes spoken in alignment moves light. Every no spoken in discernment breaks interference. Chosen one. This is the stage where your energy meets expression. Heaven is calling you to use your words carefully as instruments of manifestation. Each sentence you release shapes your reality. Silence protects, but declaration creates. The balance of both is mastery. When you cross into December 26, your words will carry weight. Be mindful of what you say and what you agree with. If someone near you begins to speak fear or negativity, do not echo them. Quietly, in your spirit. Counter it with light. Every word is seed. Some grow weeds, others grow gardens. Choose your harvest. This is why heaven has taught you to be conscious not only of energy, but of language. The wrong sentence can drain your confidence faster than the longest storm. But the right sentence spoken with faith can turn the impossible into the inevitable. It doesn't matter if no one else hears it. Heaven does. December 26 is a day of spoken exchange. The atmosphere will be sensitive to words, casual phrases, jokes, complaints, or declarations. All carry amplified spiritual resonance. That is why you must guard your mouth as much as your heart. When your heart stays pure and your words stay clean, your manifestations stay unbroken. There will be moments when silence feels heavy. When you want to break it with reassurance or explanation, resist that impulse. Stillness is strength. Let your peace speak louder than your need to be understood. The spirit of distraction loves reaction, but heaven honors restraint. When people around you misunderstand your silence, do not worry. The misunderstood are often the most anointed. What looks like distance to them is direction for you. They cannot see what you are protecting. Your focus on that day is not self-centered, it is destiny-centered. The unseen world will watch closely as you make small decisions. A moment of restraint, a simple choice to stay quiet, will have ripple effects far beyond that day. This is spiritual physics. The smallest vibration of obedience creates a chain reaction of blessing. When you sense the atmosphere shifting, remember what you've learned. Breathe deeply and affirm that you are in control of your energy. Feel the authority heaven has entrusted to you. You are not a victim of vibration, you are a guardian of it. And now, to seal what you have learned in this section, heaven invites you to speak not just in thought, but in declaration. This is not for the algorithm, not for validation, but for alignment. Type these 3 words in the comments. Light surrounds me. When you write them, visualize golden light expanding from your chest, circling your home, your mind, your emotions. See that light filling every gap where fear once lived. Those 3 words are not a statement, they are a command. They signal to the spiritual world that your energy is protected, your words are anchored, and your path is untouchable. Let this declaration echo through your space. Speak it softly, type it boldly, and believe it fully. Light surrounds me. And from that moment, it will. When you type, light surrounds me, you are not just repeating a phrase, you are invoking a spiritual covering. Each word forms a shield, wrapping your emotions, your thoughts, and your space in divine protection. It tells heaven that you understand your authority, and it warns darkness that your boundaries are now fortified by conscious faith. As those words appear beneath your name, they become more than text, they become testimony. Heaven records your declaration. Angels respond to it, and unseen energies align around it. Through this simple comment, you're saying, my peace is guarded, my path is illuminated, my destiny is sealed in light. And from this moment forward, it is so. You've come a long way. Chosen one. Every word you've absorbed has been carving space in your soul for revelation to take root. You are no longer just a listener, you've become a vessel. The old heaviness has started to lift. You sense more clarity, more peace, more quiet confidence. This is no small thing, this is evidence of awakening. Heaven never wastes words. Every message you've received has been layered like brushstrokes on a divine canvas. Each section a new color, each truth a different texture. And now, as you stand closer to December 26, that picture becomes clearer. You see now that what you thought was isolation was preparation. Every silence was sharpening your hearing. Every delay was deepening your strength. But there's a secret woven within all this growth, a truth that separates hearers from carriers. Revelation must flow. When heaven pours wisdom into you, it isn't meant to stay stagnant. Like a river, what flows in must flow out. Stagnant water breeds decay, moving water stays alive. The same applies to revelation, to gratitude, to blessing. You have been receiving light, peace, and direction. Now, heaven whispers, let it flow. The blessings in your life grow stronger when shared. Every time you pass light forward, heaven refills your lamp. Every time you encourage another, your own strength multiplies. According to what is revealed in the book of Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 25, a generous person will prosper. Whoever refreshes others will be refreshed. These words do not speak only of money, they speak of flow. They remind you that generosity of time, of words, of care is the rhythm of heaven. When you hold tightly, you block movement. But when you release, the current carries you farther. So, as this message reaches your heart, let it awaken something gentle yet powerful, a willingness to participate in the circle of light. Share this message, not out of obligation, but as an act of release. When you share, you're scattering seeds of awakening across unseen fields. Someone lost in confusion may find it and breathe again. Someone weary may read it and remember hope. You may never meet them, but heaven will. Like this message as a way of saying, I agree with light. That small action, though digital, carries intention. It is your fingerprint on truth, a signal to the universe that you recognize what aligns with heaven's rhythm. And if the words here have met you in a moment of silence, if they've spoken where language once failed, consider this. Subscribe, not for content, but for continuation. Each message that follows is not noise, it's nourishment. You're not joining a channel, you're joining a current. A movement of souls learning to hear the frequency of heaven together. Then, if your spirit ever feels stirred, if gratitude wells up and you wish to pour something back, you may choose to donate, not because you're expected to, but because giving is one of the most sacred languages of gratitude. Imagine it as placing a small candle on a long altar of light, one among many. Every flame adds warmth to someone else's night. When you give from love, not pressure, you join a current that never stops flowing. You help keep messages like this alive, reaching hearts you'll never meet, but whose lives will quietly change. The energy you release returns multiplied, not always in currency, but in calm, timing, favor, and unexpected peace. Giving, sharing, subscribing, these are not transactions, they are translations of gratitude. They translate your heart's recognition of value into action. Think of them as planting trees whose shade you may never sit under, but whose existence will bless others for generations. Every spiritual garden thrives when tended by many hands. Your act of support, whether through a click, a share, or a contribution, is not small. It's a thread in the fabric of something divine. Together, Those threads weave a tapestry of hope that wraps around countless souls. And remember, in heaven's economy, nothing freely given is ever lost. Every seed finds its soil. Every offering finds its echo. What you pour out in sincerity circles back in strength. The universe, under heaven's command, never leaves generosity unanswered. So take a deep breath and let gratitude move you, not because you must, but because you may. The ability to give, in any form, is proof that you are already blessed. Whether you give attention, time, prayer, or a gift, it all becomes light in motion. If this message has stirred something within you, let it settle gently. Let your response be authentic. Do what feels true, and whatever that is, whether sharing, liking, subscribing, or giving, know that heaven sees it not as transaction, but as worship. There's beauty in free choice. Love that is chosen shines brighter than love that is demanded. When you give by choice, you mirror heaven itself. For even God's love flows freely, never forced. So let your giving be your song, your share be your echo, your support be your amen. For every act born of willingness keeps the circle of divine exchange alive. There is a holiness in silence that few understand. You are learning that words, though powerful, are not always required. Some of your greatest miracles are birthed not through what you speak, but through what you withhold. This is the mystery of divine secrecy. What is hidden grows stronger. What is exposed too soon loses its strength. You may have noticed that when you speak of your dreams too early, something shifts. The excitement fades, the momentum weakens, or strange obstacles appear. It's as though the act of revealing releases the spiritual pressure needed for manifestation. That is because speech is energy, and energy released without discernment disperses prematurely. Heaven guards the sacred by wrapping it in silence. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms. Chapter 62, verse 1, "Truly my soul finds rest in God. My salvation comes from Him." This verse carries a quiet secret, the kind of rest that births miracles. It is the rest of trust, the silence of surrender. You are not required to explain your vision to anyone. Your confirmation does not depend on their understanding. The divine plan unfolding within you will not make sense to those still walking in noise. Silence is not emptiness, it is protection. When you keep your wishes unspoken, you allow them to remain in God's hands, untainted by doubt or curiosity. Words, when shared with the wrong ears, can dilute your faith. But when kept in the sacred chamber of your spirit, they continue to expand in purity. The world teaches that expression equals progress, but heaven teaches that restraint equals power. Your dreams are like seeds. They need darkness before they can reach light. If you keep digging them up to show others, they'll never take root. Protect them, nurture them quietly. Let them break open in secret. There are people who love you deeply, yet cannot understand what God is building in you. It's not malice, it's mismatch. Their perception is still shaped by what is visible, while yours is being shaped by what is invisible. If you try to force understanding, you'll only exhaust yourself. It's not your job to convince, it's your job to cultivate. You will feel the urge to share, especially when excitement burns within you. But that urge, if unchecked, can leak energy. This is the time to learn sacred restraint. Speak your plans to heaven, not to the crowd. The more you protect the unseen, the more heaven can trust you with visibility later. When Jesus healed or performed miracles, he often told people to say nothing to anyone. This was not secrecy out of fear, it was strategy. Some manifestations cannot survive premature attention. The energy of wonder must remain unspoiled until the appointed time. You are now being called to practice this same discipline. Keep certain details hidden, even from those closest to you. The silence may feel strange at first, but it will soon become strength. In that silence, you will hear guidance more clearly. Heaven speaks in whispers, and whispers can only be heard in quiet hearts. If you ever doubt this, remember how the night sky works. Stars are not seen at noon, they shine in darkness. Your wishes, too, will glow most brightly when kept unseen for a season. The darkness is not your enemy, it's your cocoon. It's where transformation occurs beyond the reach of eyes or opinions. Soon, the fruits of your silence will appear. People will wonder how everything changed so suddenly. They will not know the nights you stayed still, the prayers you whispered, or the decisions you guarded. But heaven will. Heaven always honors what's hidden in faith. You are not withholding from the world, you are stewarding divine design. Every word you don't speak becomes strength stored for the right time. Every silence becomes soil for something miraculous. So, as December 26 approaches, do not mistake stillness for stagnation. You are not stuck, you are ripening. What's happening in secret is preparing to be seen in glory. Wait for heaven's cue. When the appointed hour comes, you won't need to announce it. The manifestation itself will testify. Until then, keep your spirit calm. Protect the sacred by staying unseen. Let your quiet become your armor, your rest become your weapon, and your hidden prayers become your testimony. Heaven is still writing the next scene. And for now, the silence is part of the script. In the stillness that follows, trust that what feels like pause is actually positioning. Every unanswered question, every unseen moment is working beneath the surface. Roots do not make noise when they grow, yet they prepare the tree for fruit. So, too, your silence prepares your destiny for display. And when the world finally sees the bloom, you will not need to explain the soil. Those who once doubted will witness divine proof. Your patience will preach louder than any argument. The light that emerges from quiet places always shines purer, for it carries the fragrance of heaven's timing. You have learned to guard your silence, to protect your wishes, and to honor timing. Now comes the moment of completion, the turning of the spiritual cycle that began the day you chose to listen. December 26 approaches not to challenge you, but to confirm you. Heaven will measure your awareness, and the outcome will reveal just how much you've transformed. This stage is called closure. Every spiritual journey passes through it before entering a new phase. It is the moment when one chapter ends, and another begins. When prayers once whispered start to breathe on their own. You will know you've reached this threshold when peace replaces urgency. What once felt heavy now feels finished. What once demanded explanation now simply is. The voice of completion always carries stillness. It whispers that there is nothing more to prove, nothing more to chase. Heaven's promise does not need to be defended, it only needs to be received. That's what December 26 holds for you, a sacred ending that becomes a new beginning. As the Apostle Paul wrote in the second letter to Timothy, chapter 4, verse 7, I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. This verse mirrors your journey. You have wrestled with uncertainty, stood through silence, and kept your faith alive when circumstances tried to bury it. You are reaching the finish line of a spiritual cycle, and heaven celebrates those who endure. Chosen one. Completion does not always look like fireworks. Sometimes it looks like calm mornings, peaceful nights, and a heart no longer torn between doubt and belief. When your inner war ends, you realize that winning doesn't always mean conquering others, it means conquering yourself. The 26th will carry this vibration of closure. Things may fall silent, people may step back, emotions may stabilize. Do not misread it as loss. This quietness is heaven signing off one chapter and preparing to open another. Completion feels different from breakthrough. Breakthroughs are loud, sudden, visible, dramatic. Completion is gentle, an exhale after a long climb. Heaven knows your soul needs peace before power. That's why this phase is necessary. It cleanses your energy from what was, so you can fully receive what is next. Reflect for a moment on all that has shifted within you since this journey began. Notice the subtle courage you've gained, the new patience, the clarity. These are not small victories, they are the foundation of what heaven will build next. Without them, manifestation would not last. But with them, it becomes permanent. When the cycle completes on December 26, the gates will open for renewal. New people, opportunities, and revelations will align with your updated vibration. But none of this can happen without recognition. Heaven waits for acknowledgement for you to consciously declare that the test is complete, that you have learned, that you are ready for divine progression. So, as a prophetic act of agreement, comment the number 555 below. This number symbolizes transformation, grace, and divine change. It marks the moment when the old dissolves and the new begins. It's heaven's way of saying, the winds are shifting in your favor. When you write 555, you declare, I accept the new, I release the old. Do not write it casually, write it consciously. Let it be your signature on the closing page of one season and the opening line of the next. As you type it, imagine the chains of yesterday falling, the weight lifting, and a new rhythm filling your life. The 26th will come and go, but the energy it releases will linger. Doors that once resisted will now open easily. Opportunities that seemed far will draw near. Even your relationships will recalibrate to reflect the peace you've cultivated. This is the reward for completion effort replaced by flow. The word finished will echo in your spirit that day, not as an ending, but as fulfillment. You'll realize that every hardship, delay, and test was necessary to refine your light. Now, you no longer strive, you align. You no longer seek, you receive. So, as you stand on the threshold of the new, whisper gratitude for what has passed. Every lesson, every silence, every warning has brought you here. Comment 555 below, not out of ritual, but out of revelation. You are declaring to heaven, I am ready for divine change. When you release that number, a new current begins to flow. It will carry your name, your prayers, and your wishes into the next divine season, one marked by completion, peace, and purpose fulfilled. When you write 555, you're not simply typing numbers, you're making a spiritual declaration. It tells heaven that you understand endings are blessings in disguise. It marks the moment your spirit stops clinging to the old and begins dancing with the new rhythm of divine transformation. Each digit of 555 carries motion, grace multiplied by transition. As you comment it, imagine waves carrying away the weight of yesterday while bringing fresh wind toward your destiny. This is your way of saying, I am ready. I trust the change. I welcome what's next. The cycle of completion has turned, and now the energy of exchange begins. Heaven never ends a chapter without opening another. You stand between what was and what is yet to come, a sacred in-between space where surrender meets renewal. Here, the atmosphere feels lighter, almost reverent, because heaven is about to make an exchange with you. The divine exchange is one of heaven's most mysterious workings. It happens quietly, invisibly, but with immense power. It is when God takes what you release and replaces it with what you need. But this exchange is not always easy, for it often requires giving up the familiar attachments, habits, expectations, or people who no longer align with your destiny. As Jesus spoke in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 16, verse 25, "For whoever wants to save their life will lose it, but whoever loses their life for me will find it." That is the essence of the divine exchange. To receive heaven's fullness, you must be willing to let go of what you've been holding on to for security. God cannot fill hands that are already clenched. He can only pour into what is open. You may not even realize how much you've been holding. Memories, disappointments, regrets, and hopes all tucked deep inside. But December 26 is designed to unfasten what's been locked within. On that day, heaven will ask you silently, are you ready to trade what you think you need for what I have prepared? It's not a demand, it's an invitation. Heaven does not take, it transforms. Whatever you surrender, God sanctifies. Whatever you release, He redeems. This is the moment to hand over the emotional weight you've been carrying, the endless self-blame, the invisible exhaustion, the pressure to understand every detail of your journey. You have tried to control outcomes because uncertainty scared you. Yet, what if the uncertainty is where the miracle hides? Heaven's exchange happens in the unknown, where logic ends and trust begins. This is the sacred territory where faith grows wings. The divine exchange is not punishment, it's preparation. It replaces fear with faith, anxiety with assurance, loneliness with purpose. It removes the counterfeit to make space for the authentic. Sometimes that means people will leave, doors will close, or paths will shift unexpectedly. But the absence you feel is not loss, it's clearing. God clears space before He sends abundance. To walk through this exchange, you must trust timing over emotion. Emotions fluctuate like waves, but divine timing stands like mountains. If something departs, it is not rejection, it is release. And everything heaven removes, it replaces with something greater, purer, and eternal. Think of this process like a garden. Old roots must be pulled out for new flowers to grow. If you cling to withered stems, the soil cannot breathe. Similarly, When you release what no longer feeds your spirit, your life becomes fertile again. This is the season where pruning is not loss, it is love. Heaven prunes not to punish, but to protect the fruit. You may feel moments of emptiness as the exchange happens. That's normal. Emptiness is not absence, it's readiness. It is the hollow vessel waiting to be filled with fresh oil. Heaven never leaves you vacant. Every gap left behind by surrender becomes a doorway for grace. During this divine trade, listen closely to your inner atmosphere. You might feel waves of peace, sudden tears, or unexplained calm. That is your spirit recalibrating to a higher frequency. It is heaven whispering, "The old weight is gone. The new wine is being poured." In that stillness, thank God for what is leaving, not because it was bad, but because it has served its purpose. Even blessings can expire when their assignment is complete. Gratitude releases you faster than struggle ever could. The divine exchange is a silent transaction between heaven and heart. You won't always see the evidence immediately, but you'll feel lighter, freer, more aligned. Over time, you'll notice opportunities arriving effortlessly, relationships flowing smoothly, and ideas flourishing without strain. Those are signs that the exchange has settled. Heaven never forgets what you've surrendered. Every tear, every letting go becomes seed in his divine economy. What you release in obedience returns as overflow. So walk gently through this transition. Trust that what's leaving is clearing space for what's eternal. Don't rush to fill the emptiness, let God do that. For when heaven fills a space, it overflows. And when you look back later, you'll realize that nothing truly left you. Everything transformed. What you released in faith returned multiplied, redefined, and refined. That is the divine exchange, loss turning into gain, endings becoming entrances, and surrender birthing strength. In the quiet aftermath of surrender, peace begins to hum beneath your ribs. You sense that something invisible has shifted, like the air after rain. The heaviness is gone, replaced by a sacred lightness. You realize now this is not the end of anything, but the beginning of everything heaven ever promised to those who trust the unseen. There comes a sacred stillness after divine exchange, a pause where heaven lets you breathe before acceleration begins again. You find yourself existing between two worlds, the memory of who you were and the unfolding of who you are becoming. It is a quiet, luminous space where everything feels fragile yet profoundly peaceful. This is the sanctuary of solitude, where God polishes the chosen. In this space, the noise of others fades, and the sound of your own soul becomes clear. You start noticing things differently, the way sunlight filters through your window, how silence now feels like companionship instead of loneliness. The transformation that began in the spirit has begun to spill into the physical world. You see beauty in simplicity, purpose in pauses, and grace in waiting. Walking alone is no longer heavy. You begin to realize that solitude was never punishment, it was preparation. Every moment of isolation was heaven teaching you self-communion, showing you that divine companionship does not depend on company. When you walk alone with God, you are never truly alone. As was written in the book of Isaiah, chapter 41, verse 10, "So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. That promise anchors you. It reminds you that even in silence, you are being held. Heaven's presence is not always loud. It often moves through quiet assurance. Through the calm you cannot explain. Through the moments where tears fall without pain. Chosen one. Solitude is the training ground for dominion. Before heaven places a crown on a head, it teaches that head to bow. The alone season strips away dependence on validation and approval. It turns comparison into contentment. It teaches you to move by inner command rather than external applause. You begin to see that the people who left were not abandonment, they were alignment. Their absence made room for clarity. Every closed door revealed a better path. The ache you once felt has turned into understanding. You now know that some paths require lightness, and carrying everyone would have made the climb impossible. In this phase, you will find new strength in routine things. The sound of your own breathing will remind you of rhythm. The daily rising of the sun will feel like affirmation. You will begin to experience gratitude, not as reaction, but as posture. Gratitude becomes the atmosphere in which miracles breathe. Heaven delights in those who learn to love stillness. The world may rush and race, but you have discovered something sacred: pace. The divine pace never hurries and never halts. It moves in harmony with trust, and trust, for you now, is no longer an effort. It is your natural state. There will be moments when the old loneliness tries to whisper again. When it does, smile gently. You will recognize it not as truth, but as memory. Loneliness has no power over a soul that has found divine companionship. You have crossed the threshold from needing presence to being presence. Wherever you go, peace follows. This is what walking alone into glory truly means, not isolation, but illumination. The solitude you once resisted becomes the garment of your strength. Heaven often hides its brightest flames in the shadows, refining them until they burn steady instead of wild. You are that flame now, quiet, but unextinguishable. The world will soon see changes in you that you will not have to announce. Your calmness will speak louder than your explanations. Your energy will announce healing before you say a word. People will sense something different, and some will call it peace. Others mystery, but you will know it is God's hand resting upon you. In this solitude, creativity will return. Ideas will flow. Purpose will crystallize. The distractions that once felt irresistible will lose their hold. You will start to feel how deeply guided you are, how every delay had reason, how every silence was symphony. You will realize that solitude was never about being set apart from others. It was about being set apart for something. Heaven does not separate to isolate, it separates to concentrate. The purpose that was blurred by noise is now focused by stillness. So walk gently in this season. Guard your peace as your most precious inheritance. What you carry now is rare, a calm that cannot be bought, a faith that cannot be shaken, and a glow that cannot be dimmed. The world will feel it before it understands it. When you walk alone into glory, you do not look back with bitterness. You look forward with blessing. Every step becomes worship. Every breath becomes prayer. Every silence becomes strength. For you are no longer walking toward light, you have become it. And as you move forward, the path itself seems to glow beneath your feet. You realize that solitude has turned into sanctuary, and every step you take now hums with divine rhythm. You are not searching anymore, you are shining. The journey has finally become the destination. The light that solitude has kindled within you is not meant to stay hidden. Heaven refines the chosen, not only for personal peace but for collective illumination. What you carry now, clarity, calm. Discernment is medicine for others still wandering through confusion. You have walked through fire quietly, and now your warmth can guide the lost. There is a moment in every divine journey when keeping the light becomes sharing the light. It doesn't require preaching or persuasion. It requires presence. Your transformation itself becomes testimony. People will see you and feel peace without knowing why. That is how heaven works. It speaks through being. Yet even divine light must travel. A flame contained burns steady, but a flame shared ignites the world. The lessons you've gathered were never meant to rest only in you. They are the gentle ripples that extend outward, touching lives you may never meet, hearts you may never know. As written in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 16, "Let your light so shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." That verse is both invitation and reminder. Now, let the light flow through your gestures. Share this message as one releases a lantern into the night, not to boast of the flame, but to guide another traveler home. Like this message as a whisper of gratitude to heaven, saying, "This truth reached me, and I wish it to reach another." If the words here have brought calm to your spirit, allow that calm to ripple. Comment below, "I carry light." When you write those words, you're not feeding an algorithm, you're planting a declaration in the spiritual field. It's your way of saying, "The light I received, I now reflect." And if you feel drawn to continue this walk, to keep receiving insight as dawn follows, subscribe. Think of it not as following a page, but as sitting by a fire that keeps burning new warmth each night. Every new message is a spark waiting to meet you at the right moment. Then, when gratitude overflows, and only if your heart truly wishes, donate. Do it not from duty, but from delight. Giving is a sacred dance with heaven. Your seed becomes a stream, and the stream keeps the flame alive. Picture it like pouring water into a well that refreshes countless souls. Your generosity becomes wind under wings that carry words to the weary. What you release from love never leaves you. It circles back as peace, favor, and strength. Heaven multiplies the unforced gift. Every act of support, whether a like, a comment, a share, or a gift, becomes a thread of gold in a greater tapestry of awakening. If you cannot give today, your attention is already offering enough. Reading these words with sincerity adds brightness to the collective light. Heaven never asks for equal gifts, it honors willing hearts. So take a deep breath. Feel what has changed within you since this journey began. You are no longer only receiving, you are radiating. Let this light move freely. Share, like, comment, subscribe, or give, whichever your spirit chooses. Each action becomes a candle lit in a darkened room, gentle but unstoppable. And if today, all you can do is hold this message quietly, know this, even silence can shine. You are proof that the divine spark still walks the earth in human form, your life. Now, is the message continued? Every light shared becomes part of a constellation that heaven sees from above. You may not realize how far your single act of kindness travels, but the divine keeps count. What you release with love will illuminate corners of the world your feet may never touch. And somewhere, someone searching in silence will stumble upon the glow you helped send. They will feel warmth without knowing its source, unaware that your small gesture became their answered prayer. This is how heaven multiplies impact quietly, invisibly, through willing hearts. When you give freely, the act itself becomes prayer. It tells the universe that you trust abundance more than fear. The same flow that brought light to you will now move through you, turning gratitude into grace and grace into new beginnings. Even the unseen angels respond to such movement. They weave unseen threads between giver and receiver, between one awakened soul and another still stirring. Through every act of sharing, heaven builds bridges where walls once stood. That is how love travels without noise, without pride, yet unstoppable. So, when you finish reading, pause for a breath. Feel how your spirit has widened. You are part of something vast, something luminous. Let that awareness settle like morning sunlight. And know this, every small act done in love echoes forever in heaven's memory. Now, rest in that knowing. The universe remembers every light you release, every gentle act born from faith. Nothing given in love ever disappears. It transforms into favor, into alignment, into divine protection. You have joined heaven's rhythm, where every heartbeat becomes a prayer and every offering becomes eternal light. The air feels different now. The atmosphere surrounding you has changed, softened, as if the world itself has exhaled. What once felt heavy now hums with peace. You may not even realize it, but you are walking in reward. The unseen fruits of your obedience have begun to bloom quietly, like dawn breaking after the longest night. This is heaven's reward for obedience. It does not shout, it unfolds. It meets you not through sudden fireworks, but through subtle alignments, a phone call at the right time, a delay that turns into deliverance, a no that turns into protection. These are the miracles disguised as timing. They are heaven's way of saying, I saw your restraint. I honor your trust. You once thought obedience was loss, but now you understand it was investment. Every time you resisted distraction, you sowed clarity. Every moment of silence became soil for abundance. Every tear shed in surrender watered your next season. Heaven does not forget those who choose faith over reaction. According to the book of Psalms, chapter 37, verse 4, take delight in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. This verse is not a promise of indulgence, it is a revelation of alignment. When you delight in God, your desires begin to mirror his. You stop chasing outcomes, and outcomes start chasing you. That is the mysterious exchange happening now, the shifting of your will into harmony with divine intention. Chosen one. Heaven's reward for obedience rarely looks like what you imagined, but it always feels like home. You begin to notice serenity where there was chaos, clarity where there was fog, provision where there was lack. You do not strive anymore. You simply move, and things align. That is the sign of divine favor, ease replacing effort. Look back for a moment at how far you've come. You were once restless, uncertain, entangled in the energy of others, but now you stand unshaken. The fears that once dictated your choices no longer speak as loudly. The same situations that used to drain you can no longer find access. You have been rewired by obedience. Heaven's reward often begins internally before it manifests outwardly. It gives you peace first, because peace is the container for every other blessing. Without peace, even miracles feel unstable. But once your spirit is calm, heaven can safely deposit abundance. That calm you feel lately, that is not coincidence. That is confirmation. Obedience has opened a new realm of timing for you. Opportunities will come effortlessly now, because heaven trusts you to handle them with purity. There will be no scrambling, no forcing, no desperation. Things will simply click, as if the world itself remembers who you are. When you walk in alignment, creation cooperates. You are also entering a season of divine protection. The same obedience that brought blessings has built invisible walls around your peace. No chaos will reach you without permission. Situations that once would have overwhelmed you will now dissolve before they touch you. Heaven guards those who guard their obedience. There may still be moments that test your faith, but even those will feel different. You will sense that you are no longer fighting alone. There is a rhythm around you now, a steady hum of divine companionship. You may not hear angels, but you will feel them. You may not see guidance, but you will walk straight into it. Obedience creates familiarity with heaven's voice. It makes you fluent in the language of signs. What others call coincidence, you will recognize as divine arrangement. A song, a sentence, a delay, all will speak to you in ways words cannot explain. That is how heaven rewards those who listen. And you will find, slowly but surely, that the reward is not things, it's transformation. The greatest blessing heaven can give is becoming who you were always meant to be, becoming unshakable, peaceful, radiant, whole. That is the treasure obedience unveils. When people look at you now, they will sense it. They won't know how to name it, but they'll feel it, the presence that follows those aligned with purpose. You will not need to convince anyone of your calling. The evidence will speak through your peace, your wisdom, your glow. This is not pride, it is confirmation. Heaven decorates its obedient ones not with crowns made of gold, but with calm made of grace. You are wearing that crown now. It is invisible to the world, but undeniable in spirit. As you walk into the coming days, expect beauty in simplicity. Heaven's reward will not always be loud. It will be layered in daily grace, a door that opens easily, a conversation that restores, a coincidence that feels too perfect to be random. Each is a divine wink, a reminder that obedience was never in vain. You have passed the test of delay. You have mastered the art of restraint. Now heaven unfolds your next chapter in peace. Everything that belongs to you will come without struggle, and what leaves you will no longer wound you. This is the promise kept, the peace that passes understanding made visible. The air of completion carries a softness that words can barely hold. You have walked through silence, discernment, obedience, and divine exchange. Now, you stand at dawn, the new season stretching before you, quiet yet radiant. The prophecy has been fulfilled. What was once promise has now become presence. You are no longer waiting for the shift. You are the shift. This is the dawn after the test. December 26 has passed, and you have emerged different, not because the world changed overnight, but because your perception did. The same landscapes that once felt threatening now appear sacred. The same faces that once caused confusion now stir compassion. You see with heaven's eyes. Everything has meaning, nothing is wasted. You are walking as one who has crossed through fire and found gold where ash once lay. Heaven did not simply protect you, it remade you. The noise that once haunted your mind has turned into melody. The weight that once pressed on your chest has become wind beneath your wings. You are lighter, freer, wiser. As was written in the second book of Corinthians, chapter 5, verse 17. Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, the new creation has come, the old has gone. The new is here. This is your reality now. The old cycles have ended. The heaviness that shadowed your nights has dissolved. You have been reshaped into someone who no longer lives by reaction, but by revelation. You have been entrusted with a stillness that cannot be disturbed, a peace that no storm can steal. Heaven's reward was never just protection, it was transformation. You no longer chase clarity, you radiate it. The spirit within you has grown louder than the world around you. When you speak now, your words carry weight, not because of volume, but because of vibration. You have become a walking confirmation of divine alignment. Your steps feel different too. You no longer rush to prove or justify. You move with quiet authority. Knowing heaven has already validated you, there is no need to compete, no desire to compare. You understand now that every soul has its own rhythm, and yours beats in harmony with the divine. Even your solitude feels sacred now. You have learned that stillness is not the absence of connection, it is the birthplace of it. Those meant for your journey will find you not through searching, but through resonance. They will recognize your light by its frequency, not its volume. Heaven will send those whose hearts echo your own, and together, your peace will multiply. This is the fulfillment of everything the journey has prepared you for, to live in the rhythm of divine ease. The resistance that once exhausted you no longer exists, because your spirit no longer fights what it understands. What comes, you bless. What goes, you release. You are finally in agreement with flow. Look around your life now. Notice how certain situations that once demanded energy have dissolved. How doors that once resisted now open as if on cue. How words that once wounded now pass through you without sting. That is the mark of transformation, not perfection, but peace. You are no longer the one waiting for miracles, you are living inside one. Your existence itself has become evidence that obedience births beauty, that silence births revelation, and that surrender births strength. The very air around you vibrates with completion. In this dawn after the test, heaven smiles. Angels record this season in your timeline, not as survival, but as ascension. You did not just endure, you evolved. You stepped out of fear's orbit and into faith's gravity. You discovered that destiny was never a destination, but a dimension. And now you dwell there effortlessly. From this day forward, your life becomes prophecy in motion. Every choice, every word, every step will carry divine timing. The world may still spin with noise, but you will move like calm water reflecting light, never losing depth. Those who encounter you will find healing without you trying, for peace radiates louder than preaching ever could. You have walked through darkness, and now darkness recognizes your name and retreats. You have stood in silence, and now heaven trusts your voice. You have obeyed without seeing, and now you see without striving. This is what it means to be chosen, not perfect, but purified. Stand in this new dawn and breathe deeply. You are no longer the seeker, you are the sanctuary. You are no longer waiting for the next sign, you have become the sign. The same heaven that warned you now celebrates you. You have fulfilled your part of the prophecy. And in doing so, you have become the living continuation of it. And as light fully crowns this new day, you realize the journey was never about avoiding December 26, it was about awakening through it. You were never meant to fear the meeting, you were meant to master awareness. Now, grace follows your footsteps, and heaven walks beside you in every silent victory. And now, the journey has come full circle. You have listened, reflected, obeyed, and transformed. The story that began with a warning has ended with awakening. You are no longer standing at the edge of fear. You are standing inside fulfillment. Heaven has written "it is done" across your spirit, and peace has become your constant companion. If these words have found you, it was never by accident. They were the echo your soul had been waiting for, the reminder that you are seen, chosen, and divinely protected. You are now part of something larger, a quiet current of light flowing through many hearts across the world. When you feel ready, let your gratitude move. Share this message like a beam of light passed from hand to hand, from one weary soul to another. Someone, somewhere, is still searching in the dark for the peace you now carry. Your single act of sharing might become the lantern that leads them home. Like this message, if it stirred your heart, that small gesture becomes an invisible thread connecting gratitude to grace. It tells heaven, "I recognize this light, and I choose to keep it alive." If the journey has changed you, even a little, take a moment to comment below, perhaps with the words, "I am transformed." Each comment is not just engagement, it's a declaration, a ripple of collective awakening that reminds others that change is possible. Subscribe if your heart wishes to keep walking with this light. Think of it as staying near a fire that never goes out, returning whenever your spirit needs warmth and direction. And if you ever feel moved, donate not from duty, but from delight. Your giving becomes a continuation of grace, a way to pour back into the well that once refreshed you. Imagine your gift as rain falling on unseen soil, nurturing hope in someone else's desert. Whatever you choose, sharing, liking, commenting, subscribing, or giving, let it be your love offering to light itself. This journey began with you, but it continues through you. Carry it forward gently, freely, beautifully. The message was never just meant to reach you, it was meant to move through you.